Hi guys, it's Megan from imamom2.wordpress.com and
Nina.
yay!
Hi.
So this is part 2. We uploaded part 1 last week, and basically it's all part of our series leading up to Valentine's
Day.
about our nannerings about relationships.
How to get a guy to love you, how not to get a guy to love you, how to make him fall in love with you, how to do things and how not to do things.
And I'm going to make the disclaimer yet again, like I did last week when we did points 1 to 10 for this list, that you cannot make somebody fall in love with you.
Really? You think, what's a disclaimer
Again,
actually for? What's a disclaimer for? Could someone sue you?
No.
Could someone come after you and say, well, you told me I'd fall in love?
Yes, but you know, that, whatever.
Really?
But my thing is, you can't make somebody fall in love with you.
Yes, you can.
Not without, again, as we said last week, that's not falling in love. That's falling in lust.
It can. That's a way. A lot of people think that's the road to love.
Whatever your method is to get to love, that's different. Okay, so we did 1 to 10 last week, so now we're gonna do points 11 to 20 from allwomenstalk.com.
Allwomenstalk.com.
Remember this disagreement last week? She
It's
thinks
all
it's all
women's
women's
stock.
and I think it's all women's talk.
All women stalk. And all women do stalk.
Anyway,
I don't.
number 11.
I don't. I'll just say that. Okay, number 11. Bring him a treat.
Yeah?
Bring him a muffin.
Whatever the treat is.
Bring him a steak.
Sure. Works for me. When my man
Bring
brings
him
me
treat.
a steak,
When I read that,
there.
I thought that's almost like he's a dog. Bring him a treat. Treat him like a little puppy. You want your treat? Here's your treat. I got something for you. Do you want it?
Pretty.
Wow. Here's what she says. The old saying that the way to a man's heart is through his stomach isn't just an old saying for no reason. Okay, pot roast. That's not a treat. That's dinner. I would bring him a pot roast or something, but
It depends. If he
he's
treats,
gotta earn it.
if
Dance
he,
for me.
you know, if something like, if he wants, okay, homemade baked goods, for example, may be a treat for him. It may be cupcakes. It may be a loaf of some kind. It may be, you know, all that kind of stuff. A pot roast may not be a treat for him. It depends on the guy, just like how it depends on a girl. It's very simple. Guys want to be treated sometimes too, you know. It's true.
Could a treat be a newspaper clipping of a sunshine girl?
That's a totally different.
Is that a
thing.
treat? Just asking.
know.
I'm just putting it out there.
I don't know.
Okay. It's totally true. I always bake a little treat for a guy when I'm trying to make him fall in love with me.
Works when I do it.
And then I just surprise him. Then I just surprise him with it on a random date. Now, how do you surprise him with it? You put it inside here?
No, you just take it to his house and give it to him.
Well, that's not surprising him. That's
if he doesn't know
delivering
you're coming. Because then you also may find out whether or not there's somebody else in the picture.
Oh, yes. When my husband and I were first dating, I left a bag of treats in his locker before every football game. He just loved it.
Yeah. It shows that you're thinking about him.
I find that creepy. Leaving a treat in a football locker? What is she doing in the football locker where there's only men? It's all sweaty in there. What is she doing in his sweaty locker? Leaving a treat?
It says in his locker before every football game. So
Yeah.
probably at school. This is a young person.
Not supposed to be in a men's locker.
It's not in the men's locker. It could be his school locker.
How does she get in the locker
Well,
where there's a lock on it?
You didn't have your boyfriend in high school, his combination lock?
No.
I did.
Oh, wow. No one loved me. Okay, give him the freedom. We're going to number 12. Give him freedom.
Yep.
See, that's where I would give him freedom. I wouldn't be going into his locker and leaving him stuff. And rifling through his things to find out where he's at.
Okay, the leaving the stuff part is okay. The rifling through his things part, over the line.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. But I thought we're talking about 20-year-olds and stuff, and not school lockers and locker rooms.
It doesn't
and
have, it
sweaty
doesn't
men.
say that it's, you know, specific to any age group. That's
Okay.
just how I'm interpreting it.
Give him freedom.
Yes.
When a guy's trying to determine if you're girlfriend material, he will test you a little bit. My advice at this point is to give him his freedom, and that will send him right back for more. In my experience, if any guy ever got the impression that I tried to tie him down, he'd be gone lightning fast. So let your guy know that you value and respect his time with his friends, playing sports or whatever it is he does in his spare time.
Yep.
Yep.
It's very simple.
Yes. I make it pretty clear in the beginning. You have your friends, I have mine. You have your hobbies,
at some point you
I
have to
mine.
introduce
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I think it's...
But,
yeah.
you know, if I was to tell my boyfriend
You can't work out!
No, that he's, like, not allowed to have boys' night with...
Yeah.
That's just stupid. Like,
Yeah.
they've been doing that for
Guys
30
need
years.
guys.
As do women. Women
Yeah.
need girls' nights.
Yeah.
Guys need guys' nights. What's
Yeah.
the problem here? Why would you stand in the way of that?
Well, when I was in
don't
my 20s,
understand
when I
this.
was in my 20s, I didn't understand that guys need to be with guys and girls need to be with girls. I didn't understand that. But I think it's important that women should know that in their 20s. Oh, someone told me this. I didn't know.
Well, now we're telling all of the 20-year-olds that are watching this is what's needed. Okay? We're telling them now.
In high school, that's the way it was. But then in my 20s, like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be with him all the time because
Ugh.
we love each other so much. I want to go everywhere you go. I miss
let's
you.
move in together because I love you so much.
Yeah.
No, let's move in together because we can actually live together.
Yeah. But some people fall so hard, they have to be everywhere together, and I think that's just
And
not
there are
good.
some couples that actually that works for, and that's fine as long as that
still
couple
have-
is okay with it. But you still need some alone time too.
with your friends, your own friends, your
Yeah.
own hobbies. And yeah, you still, yeah.
And I'll just put it in here now because it kind of works. If he or she in the relationship starts controlling who you spend time with, that's a whole other issue.
That's a flag. Red
and
flag.
that's get out now.
Red flag.
Okay? Next.
Let him call you.
Yeah. Why
Why?
does this even need to be a thing?
Because some women don't know that, especially in their 20s. I have to call him. He's so great. I want to call him before the other girls call him. I only want him to think about me. He's awesome. I'm going to
Apparently
call
I've
him.
missed something here.
Yes.
Relationships are two-way streets. Phones are two ways as well, last I checked.
But
I realize
let
that I don't
him
actually
call.
talk on the phone
I
very
know.
often. But
I know. I must have been around different people than you because I think she's right. Let him call. Let the guy make the steps. Let the guy call you rather than a girl calling all the time and the girl starts making all the plans and the girl starts going way overboard. And then she's
that
planning the
makes
wedding.
sense. Yeah.
But
Before they've even had their second date.
oh yeah. Yeah, this is getting a guy to fall in love with you. If you want a guy to fall in love with you, let him call you. Let him call. I don't call a guy. I tell the guy straight up, I will not chase you. That's it.
See, I just didn't even tell him that. I'm not chasing him. But
I
I didn't
probably
tell
shouldn't
him
say
that.
anything. You let him call you?
Yeah.
What does she say here? When I'm trying to get a guy, I play a little hard to get. I don't call him all the time. Try to track him down or generally make himself a bother or generally make myself a bother. I want him to think that I'm too busy out there I want him to think that I'm too busy out there having a great time to bother with him and that he better get in touch with me quickly if he's interested in sharing any time with me. Let him do the pursuing and he'll be much more interested in you. That's the old chivalry thing.
Yes,
isn't it?
but men aren't that complicated. They're not going to sit there wondering what you're doing
Right.
when you're not with them.
I think.
They will just call you when they're ready to call you.
Yep.
And, if they decide to call you 2 months after your first date, guess what? The message is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
If they're calling you within a day or two of your date, you're good to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not that complicated.
Practice mirroring strategies. What does this mean to you? Oh, okay. Okay, this seems a little creepy at first, but just hear me out. Whenever I want to impress or charm someone, not just guys, but anyone, I do a little physical mirroring. What this means is taking whatever physical action that person does, waiting about 5 seconds, and then copying the motion. For instance, if your guy rests his elbow on the table, wait 5 seconds, and then put your elbow on the table. Sounds silly, but it works. It creates a connection between me and the guy that he just can't explain. This is a woman getting a guy to fall for her. You don't like that. Does that just seem a little too much?
See, for me, because of what I'm studying in school,
That seems creepy.
I see it too much. I see it as being a purposeful thing.
Manipulation.
Because I'm, excuse me, I'm taking social work in school, right? So counseling, all that kind of stuff. So I see it when it's happening, and it drives me crazy if somebody's doing that.
Me too.
Because I recognize it as being, okay, you're more focused on what I'm physically doing to mirror it instead of what I'm saying. But that's also my training, right? Is that's how I'm trained to do it with somebody that I'm counseling.
Yeah.
So, and I'm very cautious to not make it obvious, for lack of a better term. I'm much more subtle with it, and I just basically try not to do it and try to do other techniques to be able to make sure that my client is actually understanding that I am following what they're saying. So I can understand that some people would think this would be a good thing, but be very careful that that's not the only thing you're focusing on, that you're actually focusing on what they're saying too.
I find this almost a little bit manipulating.
Yeah.
It's a little manipulating.
Once you get to be our age, we know what mirroring looks like, and we know why it's being done, and
Like I can see guys doing it to me, this stuff, and I think to myself, really, that doesn't seem genuine.
Yeah.
Okay, next. I think it's good. A little bit of it's nice. It's complimentary. Just a little bit. Yeah, I like it a little bit, but make eye contact.
Yeah.
That's important. I've talked to guys and they're like looking at the other women over there, and as soon as I stick these out, they're like, "Ooh,
now I'll pay attention down there."
Yeah. And then I'll shrink back a bit, and then I'll put my leg up a little bit. Ooh. Yeah. And then I'll test again, and I'll start talking about something, and they're off.
Yeah.
Wow. Next. It's eye contact. But if you're trying to get him, make eye contact with him, right? All the eye contact.
But not the like staring into his eye with your eyes like totally blah, because then that's a fight. You'll purposefully.
But it's so great to look in his eyes. You got the prettiest
then you're
blue
gonna
eyes.
Activate in him the fight or flight mechanism.
Oh,
right?
come on.
Oh, stop it. You're
It can be
me uncomfortable.
No.
You're not even looking at me. You're looking at them.
Make eye contact. So just a little bit of eye contact, but just always. I think
it's natural to move your eyes around.
Yeah.
But try to make eye contact too.
And look interested in the stuff he's talking about.
Yeah.
Don't appear desperate.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep.
And in my case, don't appear not to, like the opposite.
Don't appear totally shut off.
Dessert hasn't even come yet, and I'm like, next. I'm ready to walk away, and they're like, but wait a second, wait. I've had that. Well, we're not finished, but I gotta go.
Yep. It's very simple.
But don't appear desperate. If I want a guy to like me, I don't appear desperate.
Yeah.
I start walking. And they're like, what? It works.
You're going to make him chase you?
It works. That happened. I found that out by accident. I really wanted to get away from a creeper. And I was like, no, go.
See, when I started dating after my marriage, I basically, it sounds weird, but I walked into each date kind of going, I don't care whether this works or not, because I don't know if I'm actually emotionally ready yet. And some people wanted an actual relationship and wanted to get married and blah, blah, blah within a certain timeline. And I'm like, I'm not your girl. But in the beginning, I didn't care whether or not it worked because I needed to still find me.
This was with your current boyfriend?
Between like the end of my marriage, me starting dating, and then finding my relationship now, right? Like,
I think,
and even when he and I started, I at one point I flat out said, you know what, I have nothing to hide, and frankly, you know, you're probably going to take off anyway, so I might as well just put it all out there. And I just really didn't care either way until, you know, he started kind of proving that he was sticking around, because I know that I'm a huge package with special needs kids. So kind of take it or leave it, and he proved to me over time that he was willing to stick it out. So now 4 years later, we're still together.
So did you get him to fall for you by being a little bit
I think that
that
was
way?
I mean, we've got a lot of the same ideals in life and the way that we look at life and family and friends and how we interact with people and everything. And I mean, it even comes right down to neither of us want to get married again. Neither of us want more kids. Like, those are basic things that you need to know about yourself before you go and figure it out with somebody else.
What? You didn't go up to him and say, I need a daddy for my kids.
Nope.
I need a daddy for my kids now. I'm on a time schedule.
Nope.
I may be wanting to pop more eggs out of me too.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
You didn't want to look desperate?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Well, most women do. I shouldn't say most women. Some
I
accidentally
don't
do.
know
I think some
if women,
accidentally do that.
If they ever actually want to look desperate or if they just look desperate. Right? Like, there's a difference there.
Guys sense it quick.
I hope it's okay for me to share this, that my boyfriend actually shared one of his first dates that he had. She flat out told him, here's the timeline. You will propose to me within a year. We will get married within 9 months of that, and we will be getting pregnant on the honeymoon. And he's like, I'm sorry, what? First date. Are you kidding me?
She looked too desperate by doing all that?
She also had
an
2
agenda?
other kids by 2 other men.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, dude, check. I'm gone.
So she looked like she wanted
Like,
a baby
that's
daddy.
desperation, right?
Yeah.
And you can't put that onto somebody else.
So kind of like, well, to
You
me that
need
kind
to
of
do
looks like she
some
has
mental health on yourself first.
It almost, well, to me that looks like she has just an agenda.
Yeah.
She just wants to do something, but
Yeah.
she has a plan.
Yeah.
And
it's great to have goals in
Yeah.
life,
but
but
she scared him.
to inform the
She
guy
looked
as to
desperate.
what that plan is that he has to adhere to, no. That's
Did she do that
ridiculous.
right away?
Yeah, that was first
Yeah, that
date.
was too
They
much
hadn't
right
even
away.
received their meal yet. That sounds
like something I
early
would
in
do.
the first date.
That's wrong.
Please tell me you're kidding.
Well, no, that sounds like something I would do. Just
like,
because I'd be like,
But to
la, la, la,
tell
la, la.
him, here's our first date. We've ordered. We haven't even received we don't know whether we like each other yet or not, let alone that there might be a future here.
Did they text?
I
beforehand?
don't know. I don't know about that. But to tell him, you have to propose within a year. You have to do this. You have to do that. And he's like, excuse me? Like, there are so many other things that have to be in place before that discussion even happens.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
Yeah.
So, desperate. Yeah.
Maybe she just didn't want to waste any time.
Doesn't matter.
She still shouldn't
It's
have said something right
a
away.
first date. You don't even know if you like each other or not.
I can understand him looking like, him thinking that she was desperate by talking like that, but I can understand her perspective too. Like, she's probably 30-something and her clock's ticking and she wants to know what's going on.
Doesn't
I
matter.
can understand her side.
It's first date.
I know, but maybe they were talking for a while.
They had ordered and they hadn't even received
No, I mean
their meal
texting.
yet.
Were
No.
they on the phone? Nothing.
No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So no,
Okay.
don't do it.
Okay. So she really was on an agenda. Really.
Yeah.
Oh,
She basically
really was
she wanted
desperate.
a baby daddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Where were we?
Number 17.
Don't appear desperate.
That's
Okay.
16. Okay. 17.
Be trustworthy.
Yep.
And how can you show that you're trustworthy when
That
you're
your actions mirror your words.
when you're trying to get a guy to fall in love with you? How do you prove you're trustworthy?
I don't know. Read what it says.
Guys love someone they can trust. I learned the hard way that telling my girlfriends everything about a new guy in my life wasn't the best idea. Word always gets back to the guy that I've talked about what he told me or told details about our time together, and he always bolts. So discretion is the best policy. Don't tell your girls every little bit of your private conversations, and your guy will trust and respect you much more.
Yep. Makes sense. Because then you're dating the group of girls, not just the one girl.
I think you have to
Right?
have someone that you can tell it.
Well,
to
yeah,
tell
but
stuff
I think
with.
they're saying every single detail. Like, if you walk through the date minute by minute by minute with your girlfriends, there's no intimacy left between you and the guy.
Yeah, but I think it's still good to have like someone you really trust that's not going to blab, that you
Yeah.
can talk.
But talking
things.
about is different from giving the minute by minute.
Blabbing it to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went out to this place and that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Be trustworthy. Okay. But how?
Because otherwise, because part of a relationship is having the intimacy of sharing your secrets together, right?
Dirty
And
secrets?
whatever secrets they are, as long as they both are okay with receiving those secrets, right? But
yeah, that'd be interesting.
he needs to understand that you're actually having a relationship with him. You're not just going out with him to give the girlfriend something to talk about.
See, now, I think that's where 20-year-olds or younger ladies get it wrong. I think in their heads they probably think that guys want, it's good for that's good for their ego, for the girls to blab about it. I think it's like there's some sort of misconception going on.
I grew up small town. You don't talk about that kind of stuff because it goes out everywhere then.
So the girl will go off, talk about her date with the guy, thinking that if it goes back to him, and it will get back to him, then he's going to go, oh, she's talking about me, yeah.
I don't know.
That gets a little bit too...
Guys,
I thought guys like
private too, right?
Well, no, that's not what I thought. I grew up with 3 brothers, and nothing was private. No. So
I don't know.
I think some things, I think you really have to talk. You really have to put up. He's handsome, or like you really like.
Yes, but
he held my hand.
It's the minute by minute, right? Like how every single kiss was, and how
or he danced for me. Woo!
Like
but I guess you want to hear
your
all
girlfriends
the
don't
details?
need to hear that.
Really?
That's your
I don't
private
hear that.
bedroom life.
What if he did it in the restaurant on the table?
Well, that's public then. That's like there's cameras everywhere and cell phones taking video and all that stuff.
Okay. Leave a little mystery. This is number 18.
Yeah.
Leave a little mystery. Oh, yes. Keep your legs crossed. Leave a little mystery. Mystery.
Interesting.
When I'm trying to attract a guy, I don't want to be an open book to him.
Mm-hmm.
Close your book. I found that guys like a little mystery. They keep coming back for more if I leave more to find out. Think of your information, history, interests, etc. like a treasure hunt. Give your guy little clues. Give your guy little clues, but don't let him find the treasures right away. He'll want to keep calling and asking you out just to learn more about you.
Yeah.
Really?
If you tell him your entire life story, including, like for us, we're divorced and blah, 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 in the first date.
This is just a little too much. I'm just going to give him little tidbits to chew on for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play hockey and, where's the dessert?
Yeah, but it's
really?
It's just don't tell everything all in one shot, because then he's going to go into information overload trying to keep everything straight.
So, well, the way I see this
I'm
is
sure
that
you have
mystery.
Conversations with people where you're like, what? You know what? TMI. Way too much information.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep some information to yourself. Not like, horrible information that he needs to know up front.
Okay, now when a girl's shy, like when I'd go out in my 20s, are you mirroring me?
Yeah.
I would just go blabby blabby blab, and things would come out. And how, so how do you back up? How do you get yourself out of that blabby blab?
You ask him more questions.
What if it's too late?
You go back to the last video with whatever number that was where it says listen.
Mm-hmm. But what if it's too late? What if he just went blah, 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 and he's like, okay, I gotta go.
Too bad. You screwed it up. Move on.
No!
Oh, for crying out loud.
Those poor women out there who are shy and they go blabby blab, they lose out just because they go blabby blab?
If you've gone too far, you've given too much information,
No.
who cares?
But there should be...
There should be?
There should be like some sort of a button to push. Like... replay or
that's
start over.
Once it's out there, you can't
That's not
take it back.
fair. Who made these rules?
Nobody made the rules. It's reality.
Not fair.
Oh, for crying out
But
loud.
yeah, well, I think that's why I think you have to give a person 3 dates, like at least try, because I've messed up every single first one, every single one, everything, always.
That's because you also admit that you sabotage relationships
I don't say that
before you even say
I say
meet
it in
them.
text before I even get there.
Yeah? So why would you do that?
Oh,
That's one of those things, you put it out there, you can't take it back.
Okay. Be
Next
supportive.
question.
Be supportive.
Next one.
Be supportive of his interests.
Yep. Why do you think I go camping?
So, how are you being supportive with this camping? How does he lure you into camping?
Because it was very simple. Okay, so I think I've discussed in another video that he's a nerd and that was a quarterback in high school. So, you know, it's a good combination there. But, yeah, so he does this reenacting stuff. Society for Creative Anachronisms, that I can't really say the last word, but whatever. And really, for me to be able to see him on weekends from like May to October,
You have to camp with him to see him.
I have to go.
We're mirroring again.
Yeah, we are. But the only, like, and he was actually shocked the first time that I went, and the fact that I've kept going.
Did he really have to convince you?
No.
Was that you showing that you love him?
It was, yeah.
I go, oh, wow.
Yeah. Because 1, I don't wear dresses. 2, you have to dress up in garb, as it's called, which is clothing that's been made that's like that looks like pre-1600 outfits. And
how does he react when you get all dressed up and do
he
what
loves
he
it.
Like,
And I
does
get
it get all
giggly
geeky?
sometimes too, right? Like, there are certain things that happen, and, you know, watching him do all the sword fighting and all this kind of stuff. I mean, yeah, it's entertaining when I'm there. It's not something that I would have sought out to do, but
how did you show, in the beginning, when you wanted him to fall for you, how did you show that you supported that?
well, I think that's the difference, is that I didn't go into this going, I want you to fall for me. So I really look at relationships in a different way. I don't try to get them to go, oh, okay, what do I need to do to be able to make the next, you know, go to the next step and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to make sure that he didn't want to get married and have more kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, no.
I think for trying to get a guy to fall for you, I think it's really interesting. I think it's important to show support.
Absolutely, as it is for
Very
him
important.
to you.
Yeah.
You know, you both need to support each other's interests.
I wouldn't expect him to go to a knitting group with me.
No, but he can't. You would expect him to not stop you,
right,
from going.
Right.
You know, to go,
Right.
yeah, go have fun.
right.
Right? Like, it just, it's the mutual thing.
Yeah.
You've both got interests before you came into this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not a thing where, you know, you still have those interests after the relationship, but you still have your own separate lives. Even if you live together, you still have your own separate lives too.
Mm-hmm.
You're just choosing to come together at the end of the day.
Number
The
20.
last one. There we go.
Hold off on the physical intimacy. Good luck. After all this, he's going to be humping your leg.
Well, basically, like, don't go home and have sex with him on the first date. That's what that's saying.
When she said touch,
Yeah, that's
earlier,
different from physical
I know.
intimacy.
but I confused them because
Well, don't.
when a guy touches me like lightly, and I think that, well, that's like he's going off in a direction I don't want to go there.
Yes, but you're also not a cuddler.
Right.
Right?
So,
that was in another
so this is where
video
you have
that
to be
we've done.
careful, because if you could send a mixed message to a guy by touching him even a little bit, that can give a guy a boner, and I think that could give a mixed message. I mean, it's nice up here,
Yeah.
but I think that kind of sends a mixed message. What about if you touch and back off?
That, to me, is sending a mixed message. That's like, yes, I'm interested, but not really. Sorry.
Wasn't that a funny
Like-
joke? Wait, wasn't that funny? Don't touch me back. But the intimacy thing, Okay, I want to see what she has to say about
Basically
this.
says don't have sex on the first date, I'm sure.
The last tip has to do with physical intimacy or making out, heavy petting, or sex. If you truly want to make a guy fall in love with you, you've got to hold out on stuff like this for as long as you can. Oh, oh
You
no.
touched something.
Cripes! I lost the page. But I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I totally believe that. But some guys, like we won't mention, think that they've got to make out the first date.
Yep.
Oh, stop it. Oh, there it is.
Her page was just reloading.
If you truly want to make a guy fall in love with you, you've got to hold out on stuff like this for as long as you can. Most guys I dated are friends with just go after a girl for the thrill of the chase at first. It takes time for them to realize that they actually care about the girl. So hold off on physical intimacy to give your relationship a chance to develop first. Mm-hmm. Steve Harvey has written a hilarious book that talks about this exact idea.
I so want to read his book.
Really?
I keep meaning to. Yeah.
And there you have it. My top 20 tips for getting a guy to fall madly in love with you. Really? Really?
So, and I know a lot of guys are like going back to that last one, right? A lot of guys are going to be like, yeah, but, and it's like, yeah, but you're not going to form a relationship with somebody necessarily if you have sex with them on the first date.
But
I mean, it can happen. I understand that. But overall, first date sex not gonna work.
It's
into
not
a
even
relationship.
good.
Well, you got to figure each other out still, right? So, yeah.
I mean, judging how nervous I was 20 years ago, going out with guys like in my teens and stuff, if I had sex on the first date, it would be really, really bad. Really awful. Awful. Awful, awful. And then I found through the years with the relationships, different relationships, the longer I waited, the better it was. Mm-hmm. Not that I've had a lot of relationships, but it's just
emotional intimacy.
They want you more. Yeah. Hold off on it.
But then again, there's a
guy will make
you can't go, well, have sex on the third date or have sex on the 10th date or whatever. It's whatever is working for the two of you. That's true,
because you could have a long distance texting pen pal sort of relationship, and then one day, boom, you see them for the first time, and that's true. That's true with technology. Yeah, you could Skype and have that kind of. Really, it's so different now.
I know.
Wow, I wish I was Skyping and texting when I was little.
I don't.
I would be stuck in selfie land. It's all about me. I have a plan. 20 ways to make him fall in love with you. I want to hear what people do to make a guy fall in love with them.
Comment below and let us know whether or not you agree with this list from today and from last week.
Yeah.
And what you found works for you as well.
How do you get your Valentine to fall in love with you?
Yep.
Make him a pot roast. Don't let him touch you.
That's crazy. Anyway, we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.